No change indeed, Rob Hatch. Thank you very much for that. Nico Denz with a third career Giro D'Italia stage win, and as Rob quite rightly said, a race-saving, a Giro-saving win for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. Matt, you've got to say.
Yeah, definitely. He rode a brilliant, brilliant race, almost anonymously, because one of the last, if not the last guy across the break. And for the vast majority of the commentary that I was doing, he was sat last man, not spending any energy. And the way that he went clear on from second man, revved it away, big acceleration. As Rob was saying, held 7 or 8 metres for ages. But what he did onto that corner just before he attacked, he went up a little driveway, got a little bit of extra speed. So the detail and the craft in that little manoeuvre, and then the big engine that we know he've got, put it to good use, and also profited from the disorganisation behind. Nobody had a teammate. This man's got a big motor and was on the front foot. A brilliant, brilliant victory. Not quite saved the race, but I tell you what, it's out of a very difficult situation for the squad. This is massively important.
Yeah, it might not have saved the race, but it's better than a kick in the teeth,
totally.
isn't it? When they lost their big race favourite, Primoz Roglic. They have been trying since then. We've seen Pelletari moving his way up the general classification, but to have that jersey crossing the line first, that's a big deal for the sponsors.
Well, that's one you've now got in the pocket. You've got a stage victory, and many of the teams in this race would have signed up to leave it with one stage victory. So they've now got that. They've had the disappointment of Roglic falling out of the race, but with, as you said, Pelletari moving his way up the order. He's only 5 minutes down.
Seventh,
We've got some massive, seventh overall, massive mountain stages to come, and he's got momentum into the last week. So this is going to be another really big boost, a big kick for the team morale-wise, and they've still got Pelletari moving up. So all in all, just a fantastic day. And Nico Denz, we were sort of joking, well, he only wins at the Giro. Not completely true. He's won at the Tour de Suisse, Tour of Turkey, but he's won in so many different situations. Bunch sprint, small groups, alone. He's a man you can put in pretty much any stage and go, he's a possible winner. And today he was.
He played well today. Tactically, he was really, really good. He was really quiet in the breakaway. And then when he shot out, like you said, he did an offshoot. I like that.
He reminds me of someone I can't quite put my finger on it.
Except you literally can.
Could have been Steve-O move that.
Like
Steve-O written all over it, didn't it?
Like Steve, do you reckon?
I enjoyed watching.
Yeah, you did. Even though we're so close to this sport, right within the sport, it's so easy for us watching and for everyone at home watching to forget what goes into making it to the start line of a race like this, to committing to the goals that each one of that team, both the riders and all of those off the bike as well, have committed to, have dedicated themselves to for months for Primoz Roglic. 3 months away from home, not seeing his wife, not seeing his children, to have the disappointment of Jai Hindley crashing out of the race, to have Primoz Roglic, the big race favourite, their big team leader, having to abandon the race. Thinking that is all for nothing, then a day like today, it gives you goosebumps, Robbie.
It does, and these are the things that run through a rider's head, even at peak suffering. Thinking about these things, and it's easy to forget. It's not about the day, it's not just about the 3 weeks of the race, it's not about you as an individual, but it's about the team, it's about the staff, it's about the preparation, those months going into it. There's so much that goes into the moments, and he brought all of that out in his interview. That was awesome. You know, for someone with English as a second language too, to put it so succinctly, it was brilliant.
There's a lot of emotion in there, and the Father's Day bit as well just added a bit. I was welling up myself because you could see it was tangible. But that wasn't an easy win. I mean, arguably, a stage like that, as me and Steve were talking about in commentary, 35 other riders, it was outnumbered. There was multiple teams with 2 or 3 riders in there, but that was a very complicated mental game as well that he played there. So as well as having the engine, just have a look at this bit here. So Conchi's on the front, sees his acceleration, looks round, and is now committed. So just watch this next bit. Just before the corner, he carries a little bit of extra. He carries a bit of anyway. He goes up a little driveway and swings left.
Gave him that apex.
Yeah, it was just like a little berm, so that it looks like he'd maybe planned that move after the lack of cooperation. So he had the engine. But that was a really complicated day to get right. It really was.
Yeah, and as he pointed out, it is Father's Day in Germany. They tie it to Ascension Thursday, so a lovely nod to his children as well. And I feel like on this side of things, Steve, as I referenced a moment ago, we can be sometimes, I guess, a bit flippant this deep into a Grand Tour and talk about teams who haven't managed to get a win or coming away from this race with nothing. It is easy to forget the daily life that you still have as a sports director within this team. That's the lived reality, isn't it? All of those sacrifices, all of that time away from family, especially for the slightly older riders.
Yeah, I think what came through from his interview was like the emotion, the journey they've been on together as a team, and what the sacrifice they've made. And they had this big dream, and it got taken away. They had a lot of bad luck with Jai first, and then with Roglic, and they obviously were at a real low. And then they've regrouped and they've come back together. And now there's many things to be optimistic, not just Pellizzari as well as coming, and this stage win was fantastic.
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. So Nico Denz being able to take the podium on stage 18. Matt, this is the bit you were talking about. I think we're going to get to see this driveway moment.
So it was just a tiny little detail that I really loved. And he's clearly thought about what he's going to do. He completely seated. But just watch it in a minute. He's about to take a right-hander. Conchi takes a completely different line. It might just give him another care now, but just watch what he does. I mean, Robbie will love this bit. Flicks over, right onto the driver. Look at the different line everybody. He goes really wide, cuts in. He just gives him another K an hour.
It smooths out the corner, so it takes some of the angle out of the corner. It makes it more open, be able to carry more speed from where he was, hit the apex. But I wanted to ask you like a technical question, because this was such a Steve-O move.
It was.
The moment he went, like, what he chose to go from behind a guy who'd already done a turn on the front, but then afterwards we saw him holding 5, 6, 8 metres for such a long time, and that situation, like going. Then talk us through, because this is like such a you move.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he was aware of it, but sometimes you know who's good at going around corners and who's not so good. And if you got someone behind you who's not so good, and you get a little gap, and then I guess in your mind you need like a few meters, and then with a big engine like he has, then you have to go and commit and.
But that commitment and trust in your own power that the guy's just not going to get it shut, and you're waiting for a hesitation.
I think also as well, like when you realise that's perhaps your best opportunity to win. You've only got one card, then you've got to go all in, and I think that's what you do.
The happiest of Father's Days to Nico Denz.